output is playing elsewhere. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone. Welcome to Assalamualaikum. Welcome to the fourth episode of the Shaherald Ramadan Series. And today's topic we have about Saki's experience in Singapore and her Ramadan debut. A journey of discovery and faith. This is very unique because I have them in my podcast room, and there's only one input, which is the microphone that I'm holding and the one that is at the back. Yeah. The reason why you're not seeing the word Alhamdulillah in blue is because it's currently the light has blown off. I'm fixing that. So inshallah we'll get that fixed in the coming weeks. So for all those who have not seen our previous live live on stage, which is at the Eco Harmony Fest earlier on. Today, this one is not about our revert story, but it's more on her experience, which I'm very curious to know since the past 6 days she's been here in Singapore, picking her up at the airport with my wife and my kid, and then bring her here and experiencing a very local life. So without much further ado, we have here at the back here Saki and her husband Amir. So assalamualaikum to both of you.
Waalaikumsalam. Hi everyone.
Hi everyone.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, awesome. Saki, maybe for the first part of the question I'd like to ask you is, maybe take us through the moment you were in Japan when you met me on TikTok and then, inviting you over here. What were your earlier thoughts before you come?
Okay, so we first started to talk about the bazaar up in Bedok. And I don't have any idea about like bazaar and Bedok, but people say this and everyone is Muslim. So I have a one layer passed already, like, okay, maybe they are safe. But that time I was not sure. So I wanted to have the meeting and they agreed the meeting. So we had a meeting first and they seems very eager for the Muslim contribution. So I thought it would be great. And then also, if it to be, sustainable, I'm sure it should be profitable. And I thought it's going to be profitable. And then I did it.
MashaAllah.
Yeah.
Cool. Then, what was your husband's thoughts? I mean, your wife is interested to come over to Singapore. What were your thoughts then?
First of all, I think so. I was born in Malaysia. I'm Malaysian. I think we share some of the cultures like the same. I've been to Singapore like 2-3 times just for my work trip and just for fun. I think Singapore is very good. People are so quick, fast, very efficient, and especially for this Saki's quick trip. I think we didn't have a lot of preparation, but I think everything went very well. Maybe for the next time, maybe if you want to do the same thing, maybe we want to invite more people to be involved in this activity. But I really like how things are very relaxed, but then on point. Yeah.
On point. Cool. Awesome. So Saki, what is really the difference? Wait, for listeners out there or viewers out there, I can't really hear myself talking, so I don't know if you can hear me. So if you can hear us, do put it on the comment section. Like, everything sounds good. You guys, I can hear your voice clearly, so I know that everything's well because I have not done the audio test on this properly. So do put it on the comment section if you think you can hear everything crystal clear. Moving forward. So what is the difference like in terms of Ramadan, right? Thank you for your comments, Saini. Perfect. Okay, and Mas. So Ramadan. Is it very different from Japan, Singapore, and what took your eyes? What took your breath away here in Singapore during your time here?
The Ramadan in Japan and Singapore is totally different. Reason is that we don't have bazaar like this. So in Japan, Ramadan is more like individual fasting. individual concentration on the religion. So of course, it depending on the community. If you are from like foreign countries, like my Malaysian husband, then they might have the Malaysian community to break the fast together. Or we have the big mosque in Yoyogi, Tokyo, which called Tokyo Jami. There, many people gather around and then eat iftar together. Aside of that, Turkish is running that mosque, so there will be definitely Turkish community in Japan. But there are so many like community based on the nationality, and Japanese community, of course, we have, especially Japan Dawa Center is having like Japanese Muslim talk or event. So we still have the community, but it's not like physically meet each other and study together physically, because we are very small in volume. I mean, like we are not that. Yeah, we are very minority, so it's very hard to be like gather at one place and they do something. So not like if you go to bazaar, you meet so many Muslims. Not like this. So coming to Singapore, I realized that the Ramadan here is more like a vibrant and then enjoyable. It should be difficult in Singapore because the weather is hot, the humid is higher, and the time is until 7, which in Japan it will be finishing like 6. So, even if the same amount of time, finishing time is, that matters actually. So for me, I thought it would be difficult, but I think it is more enjoyable, especially you have friends to, talk about Islam or question and answer about Islam. So yeah, I mean, like environment is pretty much good here.
Mashallah. And I remember, okay, during our travel up and down to the bazaar, and setting up the booth, buying the props to set up the booth as well. Along the journey, we did talk about Islam off and off, right, off and on. And Saki herself had some questions. Saki, are you open to share a bit some of the questions that
Why
you might
not?
have? Yeah, cool. Maybe what are some of the questions you have during the trip?
So many questions I asked the Feldas, but um, maybe one of them is that I already posted in the Instagram though. If social media is prohibited in Islam or not, because we are content creator. Feldas is doing YouTube and I'm doing TikTok, Instagram, and my husband started the YouTube. So meaning that our information or our content somehow will go on the social media, um, and good things, bad things, we will receive comment or reviews. And I wanted to know if Islamically posting something on social media is good or not.
Oh, mashallah.
Yeah.
And the answer is social media is a tool. So if you do it for good, then you wield a sword that is going to be for good. If you do it for bad, then it's going to be harmful for everyone. At the end of the day, I think even not just on social media, it could be anything, right? Like if you use money to do something good, then it turns out good. If you do something bad, you buy something wrong or something, and it will affect. There's a ripple effect, and people will be affected by it as well. Yeah. So speaking of which, we haven't mentioned much about this, but do drop your donations to Droplets of Mercy, because they are funding and helping on the Gaza people in Gaza and people in Syria and all these places. And the links are in the bio. I know some of you mentioned in comments that you couldn't access the link. I'll check with Saki later if the link is still possible for us to enter. And yeah, so that's one of the examples of how you can use social media by sharing such charity donation drive, or even knowledge that you learn online that is authentic and good. Sharing it with others will help others to gain knowledge and benefit everyone. Yeah. So what other things, like okay, we have the very hot and humid weather in Singapore, and I realized myself, even when I was out with Saki, trying on the unisex hijab slash scarf for men, Yeah, it really helps to block out the UV light. And it was so hot that I had to cover my head on with it, and I became the little hijabi for a while, or niqabi for one moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was actually, honestly, if you wet it and put it over your skin, it's going to cool you down a lot, versus putting just something like a sunscreen and umbrella. The heat of the UV rays can go through those cloth materials, and you can feel your skin like kind of like burning or heating up. Whereas with this one, I really feel that it is bring down the temperature, and you're not going to feel wet. You just feel that it's damp, like like as if it's cloth that has been in water. That's all. But you don't feel that it's going to wet your whole body and soak your whole body. But you feel cooling like you're in the air condition. And the beautiful part is also you can wear it like a for guys, can wear like a scarf, put on like a turban. If you've seen some of, I think Saki haven't posted it up yet, but you will see someone actually wearing it like a turban in one of the videos. And for ladies, you can transform. We might want to transform this into a abaya, so you can wear in your prayer. Especially for hot countries in Indonesia and Singapore and Malaysia, this could be an option for you to consider as well. Yeah. All right. So now, besides that, okay, you woke up for Saho as well. You tasted breakfast. How was like breakfast at my house like? You can be honest. Come on, don't be shy to say. If I didn't do good cooking, just say.
Well, like living as local in other countries is always fun and always such a learning. So coming from Japan, of course, the eating habit is different, and I don't know if it is like Singaporean thing or Felda's family thing, but they eat very healthy food. So I'm kind of surprised because like when I meet my husband, and I'm so surprised he really like deep fries. Like in Japan, we eat deep fries like tempuras, but like we try to avoid sometimes so that we maintain our health. But after we get married, we really eat like deep fries, like tempuras and like what was it? Like banana pisang nani?
Yeah, pisang goreng, goreng.
Goreng
Pisang,
pisang.
goreng
Banana fritters,
pisang,
yeah.
yeah, banana fritters,
Hmm.
and like everything is like related to like deep fries. But coming to Singapore, of course we have so many like bazaar, but at home like we eat something very healthy. So the sahur will start with like proteins and waters and dates, and it's very healthy. But of course, waking up for sahur is very hard for me. I'm the night person, so every time, Ferdaus or like Ferdaus' wife will knock my room, dun, 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 so that like I can wake up and then do the sahur together. So it was more like a warming,
Hmm.
get to know, and also spending time with good friends. And it was very good.
Masha.
Yeah, that's for Safur. And we also tried the Tahajjud prayer, and it is also my first time. So I didn't know how to do Tahajjud because my husband knows that I am so provocative. Lately, I started to, understand about Islam. But after revision, I questioned provocatively a lot to him. So he knows that like if I'm told a lot, I'm going to be just I'm going to have the argument with him. So he knows that I need a self personal space. But me and my husband is family. But me and Ferdas' wife is like friends. So like we can listen to the conversation with a bit more respect, which is not good. I'm sorry, but I love it. So like it affects me very well. Like friends talk very digested in my in my mind. So it was very easy, and also the practice
Mm.
which I felt, oh, additional, maybe I'm not ready. I used to solve, but this time I did it, and by doing it, I realized why I do it a bit. It was a good learning. it's if I didn't do the sahur, no, tahajjud, I think I didn't realize why I do it, why people do it, and the principle. Yeah, basically why people do it.
Mashallah. Yeah, you say it perfectly well. Even between me and my wife, or me and my mother or my father, sometimes we are so used to people that are around us. That when they start speaking, we kind of like guess what they're gonna say.
Yeah.
And then when we guess what they're gonna say, we just happen to shut the ears off. Which is something. It's a bad habit for us. So we all should also improve in that area. And we are more receptive to friends. That's why when sometimes you want to sell your family something is harder versus your friends who are always there to support you. Yeah. So anyway, coming back to the topic, okay, besides tahajjud that we do, what is that? What's the down? Okay. Yeah, so we will improve on that. Yeah, because it's human. We have make mistakes, right? And Ramadan is a time where we also reunite with our loved ones and ask for forgiveness. So now, beside tahajjud, right? She also tried tarawih and iftar with Shah's family. So there was one day we invited Saki to Shahira's parents' home, and then we breakfast together. And her father led us in the Isha prayers, Tarawih prayers, and Witir prayers. So maybe you want to share with the audience, how was it like doing Tarawih and all this?
Yeah. So Taraweh with local family in Singapore was also new to me. And I did Taraweh with my husband or in the mosque, but doing Taraweh with family is new experience. So like the family has more, maybe their own practice. So I don't know about other family, but it was very good. It was very, it takes so much energy to finish tahajjud. And the length of dua was very long, which I didn't expect. So I was like, oh, is it like normal to make this long dua? But meaning that I get to know that Islam, the dua can be done in many forms. For example, when you do the sujud, you can make dua. When you do the additional sunnah prayer, also you can do dua. So for me, as I was just thinking like minimum is fine for me until quite recent. Um, why do I make the same dua like over and over? I already did the dua like 5 times a day, enough. But uh, seeing seeing Shah's family doing this, and seeing how and feeling how they are comfortable with doing this, and so peace mind they get afterwards. It's it's um it was vibrating my heart, to be honest.
Mashallah.
Yeah, so it was a very good experience. If it is not, invited, you don't get the experience. So I'm so grateful that my friends invited, and also Allah gave me this opportunity, and my husband being very acceptable all the time. So yeah, I'm so grateful.
Mashallah. Yeah. That's one of the sweetest thing that I myself so find when I was a non-Muslim back then. When I was invited to Shah's family home the first time and to break fast and everything. Um and to practice, the prayer, just to look at them do the prayer and to be a part of that. It's just like suddenly you're in a very strong and tight bond of a family bonding. And then when you pour out your worries and your thoughts and your concerns to Allah, and you hear the imam just pouring all their thoughts out, and you realize, you reflect on your own life, and it kind of are the words you want to say to God as well. And I know God already knows what you want to say, right? I mean, God is God; He knows everything. But He wants you to say it because there's beauty in taking action in what you think and what you say, so it solidifies what you really want in life. And it's up to Allah to grant it, or to delay it later before He gives it to you, or He finds something better for you. So end of the day, yeah, it's a beautiful experience, and only when you are practicing it, you will see it. It's the process, it's the journey that you get to experience. MashaAllah. And yeah, so Fajr and the hot weather for Zohor and Asar, we went to Sentosa. We tried to ask people about the hijab, whether they like it. We asked non-Muslim, trust us. We asked non-Muslim also. We want to know how they think about the fabric, right? And some of them, we met a guy from Denmark. Was it in Denmark?
Denmark
And
and
Germany.
Japan.
They want to buy it immediately, but we don't have enough stocks for them to buy them to use them at Sentosa. They want to go Thailand and all that, so they think that this fabric is perfect for their trip. Yeah. Okay, so besides that, what about Singapore as a culture as a whole, right? You've been to some of the mosques here, and you've seen how people rush in and out to work. What are your thoughts on the city life here in Singapore?
So it depending on really people in Singapore, but basically the people is some people are rushing and some people are calm and some people are just so like natural. So it's like so many people living in the one place. But it feels like because of the greenery sceneries, I feel more relaxed than Japan. But if you look at the person itself, like they are working hard, they are, you know, living for family, so it's quite similar to Japan. I really relate to Japan, and the living expense is also very high in Singapore. So like there's no stopping. You have to go for more. You have to get more for your family. Maybe this is the life in Singapore, but because of the culture of maybe not only Islam, but there are other religion in Singapore a lot. So, and I think religion doesn't that other religion like Hinduism or Christianity also doesn't teach something, but they all teaches for us to live better. So I feel like many people has religion here, so which is very interesting.
Mhm.
That people are trying to be the better version, if whether they are following Islam or Hinduism, whatever. So I thought it's interesting, and in a way, it's safe that all has a good thing or a good attitude and try to be better. It was very nice.
Okay, if there's one thing you think Singapore can improve on, what would that be?
What? Well,
Now we are doing market survey, so we can improve ourselves.
Singapore. Mm, I personally, I really like Singapore. Mm, but if I were to say, I I think I can be more, enjoying Singapore if there is, more interaction with other people. For example, not because when I was at the bazaar, I also felt that uh, it has a kind of filter what kind of religion you belong to. So I think, of course, there are people who is accepting each other, and maybe Feldas is one of them, but that doesn't mean the other person will also accept you. And because I don't know how they will react, I didn't really communicate with the other religious people. But next time, when I have time, I want to mingle around them. So
Hmm.
actually, it's not like how Singaporean should do. It's something that next time I want to do.
Yeah, probably when you have a longer holiday here in Singapore, the next time we can do like out of Ramadan days where you can go to a cafe, speak to people, and
Yeah.
hear Yeah, because Singapore, some days when we just have breakfast at a cafe, we do speak to strangers and hear what they think, and we can interact and know people from there. There are also social events in Singapore. Eventbrite is one platform where they actually shows you types of events that are going around in Singapore, and you can participate in them. Some are free, some are they cost a bit to go for those events. But yeah, I think what you say is true. I think as a Singaporean, I wish the weather can improve. That's all. But I think there's nothing that the government can do about it. It's just the weather, right? Unless we live in a aircon, aircon the entire island, then yeah, that's something I would think would be cool. Yes. Okay. So where are you going to next after this?
So after this, maybe you can talk.
Oh yeah, so we are heading to Malaysia for Hari Raya celebration. So tomorrow will be our flight, and Saki will be experiencing Ramadan, Tarawih, and so on in Malaysia. So maybe we can do like a comparison once again.
Yeah, sure.
And then celebrating Raya, and then after we will be coming back to Singapore for work trip and stuff. Yeah, so I think Singapore is a bit close to us now.
Yeah, I felt
Yeah.
very much close.
Which part of Malaysia is the
So it's
Tung-
in Terengganu,
Terengganu.
yeah, East Coast Malaysia,
East Coast Malaysia?
on the peninsula.
So when we told our my father-in-law that it's Terengganu, he said it's going to be salty food there, right?
Yeah. I think, yeah, we love salty
Food.
Yeah.
I like ikan bilis, so I'm
Yeah.
going to enjoy your ikan bilis if I'm there.
Yeah, sure. We'll bring back.
Okay, cool. What other things you come to learn in Islam during your trip here? Maybe you can share 1 or 2 points here.
Yeah, sure. So coming here in Singapore is an eye-opening experience. I didn't know about much in Islam, and I realized that I didn't know much. And in Singapore, I thought it's more Islamic country, but I realized that it's kind of similar to Japan, not so much. But of course, there is bazaar, there is the poster of celebrating Hari Raya, so not totally the same. But that doesn't mean that they are allowed to do bazaar, azan in every other mosque, and also to have the prayer room in shopping mall. It's not like this. So every time if you want to pray 5 times a day, you have to figure out where you are going to have the perform the prayer, which is quite similar to Muslim living in Japan. And also for the food, because Singapore is the next country to Malaysia, I thought it's like maybe like 80%, 90% halal. But I realized that even if you go to the restaurant, you have to again check by yourself whether you can eat the food here by checking the logo. If there's no logo, you can check the owner or staff if the food is halal or not. So there are still the challenges that you have to go through, and it's very interesting. I realize that many Muslims has this kind of challenges, whether people are living in Japan or Singapore or other countries. Yeah, it was eye-opening
Nice. Okay.
and
So
encouraging.
yeah, I think the last time when we were outdoors, Saki needed a place to pray. She went to Sentosa, one corner somewhere to pray. So it's quite a common thing. Like most of us, even Singaporeans, when we cannot find a musola or surah or somewhere, we are at work, right? So where do we go and pray, right? We go to the emergency exit staircase, maybe the highest floor, because that's where the least amount of people will go and access, and so we can have time to speak to God for a while before we go back to work. I think one thing beautiful about really sticking to your 5 daily prayers is that when you connect with your Creator, you actually take some time off to also refresh yourself, close your eyes, and before you go back to staring at the screen for the next few hours of work. And that itself helps you to also calm down, to lower your blood pressure, your even take a break from all the rush that you're going through. So you think clearly after you pray, you also feel better and you can be more productive afterwards. So that's my take as a revert, and doing, performing prayers at work sometimes. And mashallah, when you try to really perform your prayers, sometimes Allah make things easier for you. So last time when I used to pray at the staircase in my new workplace, now they actually built a prayer room for us. They call it a multi prayer room, so any faith can use the room, but mostly we have our sujadas there, and we use it to pray. And now it's easy, we don't have to pray at the staircase anymore. We have even a wudu place to take a wudu ablution and pray. So alhamdulillah, when you really want to practice it and you try your best, Allah make things easy for you when you make dua. Yeah. So great. Anything you would like to share more than the points that I've had, sister?
Well, like I kind of curious about you.
Me?
Yeah, your revert. Sorry. Is it okay to ask?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so because you said, when you do the tahajjud or prayer with your wife's family before revision. So, like, I was curious, like, how you felt because you are non-Muslim that time, but you were doing it. Like, what made you do it? And that time and now should be, different. Your perspective should be different. So,
No. So I think it wasn't like a proper prayer I did, because I don't know how to move my hands and everything, right? It was more like just follow and just do, because you know that by following you might learn something. How do I say it? Like you learn martial arts, right? You don't even know why the master asks you to keep punching the coconut like in this direction non-stop, right? Then one day after you practice it for many times, you realize, oh, he was actually training this muscle of mine, and now it's easier to break through that coconut. So it's the same with prayer. Like you don't understand why you bend and bow and everything, and you move, and you might do it wrongly, but as long as you try, then you go through that process. Then the sweet thing is when you start to understand the meaning of why you pray and everything that comes together, you realize that this is the best way you can connect with your creator. And then it's the only time you have, like, suddenly you're out of this world and you're in a special place with him. Yeah.
So it's much connected once you understand why you do it,
And sometimes just getting your hands dirty and going through that process, you will just learn something also. Yeah. Mashallah. So yeah, I hope I answered your question. Anything else, sister, that you have? Like, I remember there are some other stories we were telling about tying the camel. I haven't posted that video, but I was telling her briefly that, okay, you walk around Arab Street and you see there's so many Turkish and Lebanese restaurants around, right? Like, why would people open up the same restaurant, same food, and same style of food on the same street and not worry about competition? Like, it's going to be saturated. Everybody's going to be selling the same thing, and I'm going to compete with them, and I'm going to have to show that my restaurant is way better or something. And isn't that stressful? Why should I do that? I should open it somewhere else or do a different dish altogether, right? But it says, Allah says that your sustenance has been written for you for the day. It's already planned. Allah says, for example, you're going to get $100 today. This guy is going to get $90 today, right? But the thing is, he doesn't give you the $100 or $90 straight away. He wants you to work for it as well. He wants you to put in the effort. So when you stand outside your restaurant and ask people, come, welcome, and you smile and you try to do your best to run your business, then Allah will say, okay, he's done something, we give him a bit more. We give him more than that. And if, for example, you see a poor person walk by and you say, oh, I don't know if I'm going to earn much today, but I think, this guy needs the money more than me. And Allah mentions that, you don't decrease in wealth when you give charity, but instead Allah is going to increase you even more. So Allah tests us in many ways. And, sometimes we think we are in control of many things in life. But once we take those advice into practice and give to charity, for example, even though you feel that, it's going to be losing some money that day, and mashallah, before you know it.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
But your experience, can I share that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So when Firdaus was at the mosque, but only that time, like he didn't bring the cash, but he felt that maybe it's great to do the charity at the most because it was Juma or something. So he knew that if he put it, then that day he doesn't get the lunch because he didn't bring the cash. So he was thinking, but he asked himself, but Allah will like the consistency, and Allah will replace better if I give. So he give the zakat, and of course that day, like, he didn't bring the cash, meaning that he is not able to buy the lunch. But he got the call suddenly from the friend, and he was told that, oh, last time you owe me a lunch, so maybe this time I'm going to owe a lunch. Where are you? Or something like this.
Yeah.
So, like, just after he did the zakat, he received the blessings. And it's something that we really don't know when we will receive. That time was, right after, but it can be just, several months later, or anyway in the best timing. But it's sure, like, in this day, I really felt that, because before I always ask Allah, like, to give us all hidayah, but I didn't really, see sometimes. Sometimes I see the hidayah, sometimes I know I didn't see. But this time uh, I felt it's easy to accept more concept than before, and it's one of the hidayah. And it didn't come until 1 year later after Shahada. So we don't know when we will receive, but and also when we are making dua, because I was reward, it's like, of course I'm asking sincerely, but we don't know, like, it's not, less taqwa maybe. So, like, because I didn't experience a lot of blessing after the dua, so I don't know, but let me ask, because it's better to ask, something like this. But this they really encouraged me to make dua and to rely on Allah more.
Yeah.
So it was, actually very eye-opening experience in Singapore.
And also one
Thank
more
you,
thing.
Singapore.
And of course, one more thing, if you make dua not only for yourself, for others, the angels will also make dua for you. So, they said, if you ask Allah to bless others, the angels also will say, do the same for the person who's praying. The angels will ask Allah to do the same for you. So, it's good to also make dua for people, because then you get the same blessing that you want Allah to bless them with. Yeah. So, so calling everyone out there, we have our dear brothers and sisters in Gaza who are not eating. They don't have food, humanitarian aid not going to them. Families have been, in serious trouble with all the destruction and occupation that's going on there, right? So think about those people, and they're also going through Ramadan, and can you imagine all that horror that they're seeing at the same time, and yet they are holding strong to their faith, and they're trying to survive through this whole occupation. So we pray for them, make dua for them, use the tahajjud to make dua for them, because you never know when it's going to be your turn. And if that happens to you, would you want the same for someone to do the dua for you also, right? So yeah. So I think I leave that note for you all to think. And anything else to add, brothers and sisters? You can ask questions on the stream. This is going to be available still after the live. You can go to the YouTube channel and check on the live videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and to share and comment and engage with us. Okay, we hope to always bring you good content as much as possible. We try to plan for all this, but Allah is the best of all planners. Yeah.
Yeah. So from me, because we are partnershiping with the Droplets of Mercy, the organization is giving the aid to Gaza, and so we are definitely relying on the Droplets of Mercy. How they work is amazing. They give the aid once a week or once in 2 weeks, and also they do the iftar for, like, people in Gaza. and it's really amazing. Like kids are getting the food by hand, and also like adults are receiving the food. It's very good, but also because we all know the situation in Gaza, we tend to donate only. We tend to support Gaza only, but meanwhile, there are so many forgotten communities, like as Felda said, Syrians or some Pakistanis and Uyghurs and
Sudan,
Somalis, Sudanese.
Kondo.
Yeah, there are so many forgotten communities. But if we are them, we need someone to support them. Otherwise, there's no way out. So, Droplets Mercy is giving the aid for those who is in need the most, meaning that it is for the people who need the support. And the Droplets of Mercy is a professional. And yeah, that's another part. Like if we are doing donation as a zakat in this the end of Ramadan, it is also good to donate not only Gaza but also for the other communities.
Mm.
Yeah. So the link I have the platform to donate to the Press of Mercy also Felda's page. But in this link, it can be donated to Gaza and people in forgotten communities. This is the purpose that we made it to not only to support Gaza. We want to support generally, but we ourselves is like a supporting by donation, but the professional knows where to donate, where is the emergency, and not just one-time support. The place of mercy also give them the support. For example, widows in refugee camp, they have the small business going on so that they can be in the future independent. So this is also possible, but we all have to be together to make it possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what better time to do this donation than the last 10 days or no, 7 days left of Ramadan, right? You never know one of the days is the night of power, Laylatul Qadr. And if it happen, it's the day that's worth thousand of nights, 1,000 times more than the rewards you get on a normal day. So if you happen to be donating on that day and it's a night of power, you're actually doing it 1,000 times. Yeah. So, mashallah, isn't it the best time now to do it? So don't hold back. The link will be both in our bios, Instagram bios. Check Saki.Safwa, Saki.Safwa for her Instagram handle, or for those Chia myself, FERDAUS.chia. So we hope to see you again in the next episode. In the next episode, what we'll be covering is mostly about Eid messages, some of our reflections about entire Ramadan. See, we are approaching the end of Ramadan soon, and also some of the sisters who has gone through a tremendous change as a born Muslim. How did she transform herself, and now she feels her iman is stronger. She's want to get closer to Allah, and what made that change? So, inshallah, we get to see that story in the next episode. So, thank you so much for tuning in today. And thank you to all the guests here in the podcast room. And may you both have a blissful marriage life and a safe journey to wherever you go, to Malaysia and back to Tokyo later. And I hope to one day also visit Japan and to be visiting all the nice places and say I'm Naruto.
Yeah, we are waiting. We are waiting for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Mashallah. Thank you so much, everyone. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.